Hey guys, listen, this is Sean Pereira, and I'm with my good friend Yaya Diamond. And today, this is episode 2, actually, of our show, Creative Juices. Today, we have a really cool special guest, um, my buddy Pace Clinksdale. Very interesting cat, lovely fellow. I've known him for quite a long time and just reconnected in such a lovely way. He's got some books now and some other very, very interesting things. I love his story. His story's wonderful. Let's get into it. Yaya and Pace, let's go.
What's up? Hey, Pace.
Hi.
Hey, Sean. You can't. Well, you muted yourself. Obviously, you can't hear.
How about now? No?
I got you. Yeah.
There we go. Hey,
There we go.
welcome to the show.
Hi.
Technical difficulties. Back to one.
Man, I tell you, this is wonderful. I love this. Having Sean here is just amazing. And then Pace, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime,
I'm always
anytime.
happy to be here for Yaya to laugh. She has to have somebody to make fun of all day.
She can make fun of me. It's okay.
Oh, I mean
So,
me.
man. So you know what? The last time we all spoke on the phone, I learned so much about Pace. Like Pace sent me so much stuff. I didn't even get a chance to read everything, but I read a lot of it. But I want to go through some of that with Pace. Pace, tell us about yourself, bro.
Okay. Well, I'm from Southwest Georgia, a town called Blakely, Georgia. It's about 30 minutes from Alabama and 30 from Florida. Went to school at University of Georgia. Got an internship with Quincy Jones doing music publishing out in Los Angeles. Went out there, did that. Then I deferred from Georgia. I went to school down in Orlando at Full Sail and got a degree in recording arts. Then I went and back out to LA. I wanted to work in the music industry. And that was right around the time Napster collapsed the music industry, so that job never happened. So I went into live events venues, which quickly turned into nightclubs. I had a place called Element out in Hollywood. And then I got into movies. Had one called Downloading Nancy that was in Sundance in 2008, I believe. And then also I got involved with one called Tyson, which was the Mike Tyson documentary, which was in Cannes the same year. And then my mom passed beginning of 2009, so I got rid of everything in LA and I moved back to the East Coast. I went down to South Florida. I got in the jewelry business. And that quickly turned into mining diamonds over in Africa. So I was over in Sierra Leone, and then moved back, and then came back to Florida, and then moved up to Atlanta. I worked for my brother, and then started writing books. You know, I kept wanting to be creative, so I started doing that. First one was called Harry the Hairy Fairy, and then I wrote Harry the Tooth Fairy, the second one, and then I got one called Blizzard the Lizard. And then I wrote one called Ava. Now I put them all together and I made Pace's Fairy, which is kind of a play off of family history here in Atlanta. This Pace's Fairy was a ferry that ran across the Chattahoochee back in like the 1800s. And if you come up here to Atlanta, you're going to see West Pace's Ferry Road and all that all around town. So I kind of played off that, tied it back to Atlanta. And yeah, now I'm just really doing that. I'm working on a new book called Book of Pace, and another kid's book called Old McHarry Has a Farm. Yeah, right. Yeah, and
Gosh.
yeah. So I just keep.
Where you come up with these names, yo?
No,
I told you, Yaya, crazy to know crazy. You think my story's crazy? Pace got some. He's doing it right with me. He's keeping the pace, so to say.
Yeah. Harry was Harry the Hairy Fairy. You know, Harold was my brother's name, my dad's name, my granddad's name, my nephew's name. So I was like, okay. I was like, Harry's got to be hairy. Okay, what's his problem? He can't fly because he's so hairy, and he's a fairy, and so just kind of a lot of rhyming words there. So next thing you know, it took me about an hour to write the book and a year to make it. It's cool. I love it.
Wow.
I like it better than doing the movies. So that's good.
Right.
Wow, Sean, you weren't kidding me.
I told you.
Yeah.
I think the funniest thing is one of these things is not like it. I'm the only one that's not related to Jimmy Carter. What happened?
Yeah. I am Jimmy
Oh my
Carter's
God.
11th cousin. And
Wow.
you're
I told my mother, I was like, Mom, I think I met one of our cousins. She's like, what? I'm like, so you remember that guy that we met in the Middle East? I mean, the Midwest of the United States, right? And she's like, yeah, you mean our cousin, the blonde haired, blue eyed guy? And she's like, yeah, the one that talks really funny. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, yeah. And she said to me, yeah, that's the guy that said, he's closer to Jimmy than we are. We're like seventh or eighth cousins to Jimmy. And I'm like, okay, great. So that's around the time when we found out about a lot of our family members being different places, different colors, different countries. It was wonderful. Then I
How
get
far
on the
back does that
phone.
all go? How far back is the history of that base? Like how far back is
Adam Cleanscales was the first in the U.S. and I was around like 1750, I think, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Cleanscales started. The first Cleanscales was in 1600. He was, I guess, he left the clan because they were from Scotland. I believe the clan before that he was a part of was called the McKay clan, but he left that and went into business making chainmail for knights. Like the metal that goes under their armor.
Sure.
And that's why clink scales. I guess that's what the chainmail sounds like. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, so we found out that we got a little bit of a heritage in common. We just might be cousins.
Yeah, right. I like it. Mm-hmm.
I do too.
I was looking. I was like, wait a minute. That's where the nose comes from because my nose kind of dips down. And my mom's nose is just like really fine, and she's got like these really fine lips. Like she don't look black. Like you ain't got black lips. She's got like real thin lips.
She's Scottish.
Take it back and sing.
Yeah.
Ebony and ivory.
Nice.
This is wonderful. My gosh. So Sean, you know Pace more than I know him. What's the question that you may have for Pace?
Pace. You didn't know that one night? No, I'm kidding.
I was waiting for something like that.
Okay, the funniest story I have with him is I get this ticket and I'm like, where did I get this? I don't remember getting this driving ticket. And I go, okay, I'm just gonna, because I live down from the Santa Monica police station. I went in there, I got the picture, and I went into him, I said, what is this? Can we look this up? And clear as day, me and Pace that night had traded cars.
I was following you. Yeah.
Yeah. We had traded cars. And the next thing you know, they picked up the picture. I said, do you see that picture? That is a blonde, good-looking man. I'm a brunette, shaved head, actually. Good-looking man, too. But that's not me. And they said, that certainly isn't you.
Yeah, you were driving my car. I was following you like down Sunset, and you ran the yellow light, so I ran the red one.
I'm like,
who's the blind guy?
Did the light go off when it got you? Did you see the
the light caught me.
He saw it.
That was it. That was my first traffic ticket in LA. Yes.
Oh my gosh! Wait, you were blonde?
Mine too.
I was lighter hair in the sun, but no, not really blonde. I guess maybe when I was younger.
It was sandy brown hair. Okay, and
sandy brown
too. Okay, he hung it in. He had the. No, I won't say it, but a little bit of that flip. Somebody learned it from me. I think his name's Justin Bieber. Learned from Pace.
Yeah, exactly. I had the Bieber do first.
Oh my gosh! Wait,
you don't believe me? Go to my Instagram at Maddox Pace.
Right. I'm going to put that up there right now. My gosh. Maddox. Okay. So Pace, listen to this. Okay. Your hair turns colors in the sun.
Eyes do too. Beautiful. Yeah. Yours light too.
That is, my mom was looking at me today saying, where did you get that from? Because that is totally not me. Like my hair will turn like a putrid, like yellow. Yeah. I call it yellow. That's what people say that, oh, your hair is blonde. And I'm like, it's yellow. But that's from being in the sun. And no one else in my family, except for my mother's side of the family, has that.
I mean, look what happens to mine. It grows so fast in the sun, you can't believe it.
Oh my gosh. You have hair. He's got hair.
He hasn't had hair. He hasn't had hair in 20 years.
It's just easier to shave. I have a full head of hair and it pisses off all my friends that are actually bald. They're like, dude, how do you not have hair? Because I said, really? Me? You want me to have to think about another thing in my life? I don't have time for it.
I hear you.
I wish you could put up. I wish you could put up the picture of his modeling pictures from back in the day. He had hair back
Oh,
then.
Oh boy.
oh yeah, I saw some of those.
Mhm.
That's SeanPereira.com if you want to see that.
Yeah.
He was standing there
There
like,
was lots of hair going on.
Yeah. What was that, like Louis Vuitton or Armani?
So it was
Gucci?
Versace, then
Or
Tag Heuer, and then Calvin Klein. But what was so funny, the first picture I took in Milan, I was smiling, and they're like, "Hey," the guy Douglas Bassett, actually, he's still a bro of mine. He's like, "Hey, we don't smile in Milan." I'm like, "Well, I smile." He's like, "Well, get that stupid look off your face. This is Milan." So I gave the nastiest look I could give, and it's probably about the fourth picture down on the editorial part of SeanPereira.com. And I use that as my gym photo. So I would go into the gym and I literally look like, I don't know. I mean, I just stepped off of the boat from Sicily or something. It was pretty funny. Coiffed back hair, straightened, colored. It was, Yaya, don't be looking stuff up now.
Yeah, she's looking it up.
I know what she's doing.
so let's give Pace. We're crazy. So Pace, tell us about the books that you got too, because I mean, these are kids' books. I mean, why did you get into kids' books? I mean, you've been so many different places in Sierra Leone. I mean, you really got into was it the Black Diamonds? Like the really.
No, this was after the Civil War.
Okay.
So they're talking about blood diamonds.
Yeah.
It was after the Civil War. No, these were. They have something called like Kimberly papers now, but they verified that they're not blood diamonds.
Okay, good.
So we went over there. It was really cool though. We went over there. We were there about 2 weeks. We struck diamonds, and they asked us to leave and never come back.
Oh, what happened?
They didn't really need us anymore. They found the diamonds.
Wow.
I believe that like the Russians were there before us, and but they didn't find anything, so they kicked them out. And the lady. So it's a really cool story. So this lady, her name was Yaya Diamond, and she was originally from Kono, Sierra Leone, which is eastern Sierra Leone. That's where you find all your alluvial diamonds, the white diamonds that come out from the volcanoes and down the rivers. And she had moved to Fort Lauderdale when she was like 3 with her aunt and uncle. She was raised thinking her parents were dead. Well, what had happened was when she was a baby, her dad was Christian, her mom was Muslim, and her mom's parents didn't approve of the marriage, even though the chief, her dad, converted to Islam or being a Muslim. Right. And so when the mom died, they sent the sister and her husband to kidnap the baby. And they brought her to Fort Lauderdale. Well, 30 years later, she's talking to someone down there that's from Kono. And they start talking and they figure out like who she is. And they're like, well, your dad's not dead. He's been looking for you for 30 years. You're the Sia, the princess. All the diamond mines belong to you because you're the firstborn female, because the females never leave the land. So the birthrights for the land, the mines, transfer through the women, firstborn women. And so they put her in touch. We back her. We go over there. We start mining her land. And one of the guys in our group kind of makes her mad. Maybe fraternizes a little bit or something, makes her mad. So when we hit diamonds, she was like, have a nice trip back to America. We're like, sure. And she's like, and when we got there, she's like, yeah, y'all don't come back. She found the first thing we did was move a big boulder. Found, I don't know what it's called, but like a caveat is what I'll call it, like a bunch of diamonds. And the first thing they pulled was an 80 karat diamond out. Sold it for $800,000. Done with us. So if you look at my book,
there's no rights when you're digging, or you just go randomly.
Yeah, they're hers. It ain't rights like okay. Like one of the guys in our group sued and got like a $3.6 million judgment against her, but that's here in America. You can't collect that.
Yeah, right.
As long as she stays over there.
But when you guys went to go dig, it was an excavation it was a private one, or you just were doing it to do it?
Yeah, I mean. If you want to check out the video and stuff, I got pictures on my Instagram as well. and a video of it. But I took a camera crew over there and filmed everything, and it was like really cool. But if you go to my book and see where Harry's flying in the hot air balloon, he gets stung by the bee. The princess is the bee. The book is the story of my life. I just wrote an autobiography and it came out as a kid's book.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, okay, so it just came out like how could it just come out like a kid's book? I mean,
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know. It's just this.
How does our song come out? We don't know.
I don't know. It just
arrived.
God was speaking through me, and he said, "Write this book," so I wrote it.
I hear that.
And you made the queen a bee.
She was big B. She was big B, if you know what I mean. And she stung. Yes, and the stung hurt.
Oh goodness gracious! Yeah. Okay, I ain't going there. I'm not. This is a disclaimer. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. It's cool. It's part of life. It made me who I am. I love it. I wouldn't have the book if it didn't happen. So it's cool.
That's true.
This is the wonderful part about why we do this, Yaya, because you don't know till we know you, and you ask questions. You know what I mean? That's the greatest part about it, is especially when people like Pace are open to because guess what? We all learn from each other all day long. So it's wonderful information.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like the car running out of the gas in the book, that was the music industry. You got me falling asleep on Harry falling asleep on the train. That was the nightclubs. The cops. I had a business partner that was embezzling money, and so I went to the police, and they kind of run me out of town. They didn't really do anything, and so that's happening there. Hot air balloon. That was a guy. That was a guy down in Florida. He was full of crap. What
was the hot air balloon thing? You were talking about that the other day. What was that?
The guy down in Florida. He was a big liar. He was full of hot air. He took me for a ride. He took me for a big ride. A ride, and then ended up in Africa, and then that's where the bee stung me. Right?
In LA, weren't you living with Kenny Rogers' kid or something like that?
Yeah. I used to live with Chris Rogers out in LA. Still real good friend.
Big Lebowski, right? Of the song.
Yeah. I think it was like the first song on a soundtrack for the whole song to be played during the movie, and it was just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in, and the Big Lebowski when he's like tripping on the White Russian. Yeah, it's really cool. I always asked Kenny to play that song. Like I begged him to play it for 20 years, and then his last concert here in Atlanta, he played it. It was really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is cool.
It didn't hurt his vocal cords because he does all in that like really high singing. He couldn't do it anymore because of his vocal cords.
Well, Yaya's she got a whole history of music too. Talk about your mom a little bit, Yaya.
Mm-hmm.
Man, so Pace. So if we're cousins, you're on my mother's side of the family. In my mother's side of the family, my mom is Evelyn Thomas. These are hers. She sings the song High Energy from 1984. But you also got Donna Summer and Monica.
Oh.
And Monica is actually from Georgia. And so Monica, the singer, she's from Georgia. So literally speaking, there's like a lot of people on my mother's side of the family. And there's a lot of singers on my mother's side of the family that didn't make it to like that big, the big statue, but, preachers, pastors, and people that we found. On my father's side of the family, there's the McFerrins. So Bobby McFerrin Sr., Bobby McFerrin Jr., Robert McFerrin was the first Black Metropolitan opera singer. Bobby is his son. He sings "Don't Worry, Be Happy." So yeah, this big family.
And you too, because you're a big singer. I saw you singing online.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
No, you do.
Well, all the musical talent went to your side because you just heard me try and sing Kenny Rogers. It ain't good.
You gonna sing again? What was that? You sang it. You were singing?
Yeah. I was trying to hit high notes.
I'm sorry.
Keep the compliments flowing, Yaya. Keep the compliments flowing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Pace. I didn't even know you were singing. I thought you were just like talking.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's what people say when I was growing up, like Glee Club and stuff. They say it sounds like you're talking. So I was like, maybe I'll be a good like talking country singer. You know how someone just talk the words, like Waylon Jennings or something like that. David Allen Coe.
I was waiting in front of the studio, and the guy came out. His voice was all locked up, and he sat down next to me, and he said, "Sorry, my voice was, in his English accent." and I looked over and it was Roger Daltrey. And what he was doing was actually doing the same thing. He was playing guitar so that Jean-Paul DeJoria was just talking Country Rose to Eloise's wife. So yeah, I mean, that works too. I mean, tons of people talk through a lot of the tracks, and guess what? Some of those become huge hits.
Yeah, they do. So see, Pace, you're good.
And my next step is I'm going to be a professional singer.
After
the books.
I mean,
After
literally
I'm going to be
speaking,
a singer.
I'll be in Atlanta in August or September, and we
I'll be
can
here
dress up.
My birthday is September 19th, so.
Your birthday is September 19th?
Yes. There you go. Hey, we'll call it Pace and Tempo. Pace and Tempo, music by Pace.
No, the 8th. He's on the 19th. I'm on the 8th.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you too, cuz.
Thank you.
I mean, you guys got the same month, the same, wherever you want to call it, cousins. I'm out. I'm like sitting in the corner watching the show.
Get out. Go away. Just
stay away, Portuguese.
Let's push him out. Hold on a second. Bye.
Can you do that?
Hey, peekaboo.
Put him on the bottom.
Put him on the bottom.
Oh, look at that. Look where I went. Okay. I feel you. I understand now.
No, I have no control over that. You just came back in. I just pushed
So let's talk about the family a little bit, Pace. The whole thing of I mean, if you don't mind talking about the peanut butter, it's kind of an interesting thing.
Okay. So I grew up in Blakely, Georgia, which before NAFTA was like the peanut capital of the world, right? So my great granddad had 2 daughters. One was named Lucy, the other one was named Rip. Rip married my granddad, like that was my grandma. And he wanted to be a farmer, so my great granddad financed his farm, you know. And the other one, he wanted to be a businessman, so he wanted to make peanut butter. So he moved up to Lexington, Kentucky, because that's where all the train hubs were. Back then, it was just up and down the East Coast, right? Okay. So he moved up there and started a company called Big Top Peanut Butter, which in '54. Procter & Gamble bought and changed the name to Jif. So Jif was the family recipe. And it's good because they put molasses in it.
Ooh, oh, wow. I like molasses.
And I like molasses too.
Yeah.
Only when you're slow ass is when I don't like molasses.
That's molasses.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Wow, what an amazing story. I mean, you know, the whole thing, I mean, you know, the peanut butter, the growing up, the traveling, the everything. I mean, right, Sean? Am I wrong? He's just
I love the fact that the pace that he does keep, you know, I'll just use that again. In doing all these different things, it actually really does open your eyes to the experience of life. I mean, again, everybody always asks me about my tattoos. My biggest tattoo on my body says experience in Sanskrit. It doesn't say money or doesn't say anything else but experience. And I think that the experience allows us to be just, you know, naturally wiser in life because of that experience, whatever it is, good, bad, or, you know, indifferent. It's not a bad thing to have all those experiences because you just, you feel your life. And you get to fill it with conversation and humans that a lot of people don't ever even get a touch in their, you know, people go down one road usually. And obviously you can see why I love Pace is that he's equates my effort in trying to do every single thing, or not even trying, doing every single thing, because try means fail, doing it all. And whatever the outcome is, it's the journey. I guess that's what it is. It's the journey, right? So the journey takes some people straight down the one road, but we just, you know, we're riding that wave the whole way down. And, you know, God, it hurts sometimes, but I think we're better for it. No, babe.
I say yes to everything, and it's God's decision whether it works out or not.
That's what I do too. I literally do. And everybody says, man, you got to start saying no more. And I'm like, why? I don't get why.
I know. You know what? He said no to me already.
Oh,
go ahead and go tell people that you've already said no. I got it on text.
You got rules, though. You got to follow the rules.
I got proof he said no.
Which was the no?
Yeah, I got a note from you the other day. Yeah, I got it right here on my phone.
Oh, I think I said no today, didn't I? No.
You did actually. You was like, no.
K-N-O-W.
Hey, what you say and what you do are two different things sometimes.
Yeah, well, he'll say no, and then he'll be like, okay, forget it.
crazy. Well, what a
Wow,
world,
wow.
huh?
It is. It is.
And
And it's
guess
kind
what?
of
It's
cool.
still moving. It's still going. This is the thing is, I've learned that if you fill it as much, I mean, again, because I can spin out really fast and go into all the thoughts and thinking about yourself. But if you really fill each section of your day, and again, people say you can't give 100%. You can to each thing. If you got to do something for 10% of your day, give 100% to that. So you're actually able to, adjust your time to hitting that one thing as hard as you can, and then moving to the next. So it's just I don't know. It's a crazy thing, and it's not going to end till it ends. And even then, it's probably not over then either. You never know what's going on. So filling it and moving forward, and I mean, let's go as beat up and banged up and educated and experienced as we can. No.
Yes.
Yeah. So Pace, what the funny thing was is that the way we were introduced, it was like, okay, so so Sean's like, I got this guy. We're gonna have to introduce, we got to interview him on the show. And I was like, okay,
Mhm.
so who is this guy? And then all of a sudden we kind of came together and was like, okay, yeah, my family is Jimmy Carter. I was like, your family is Jimmy Carter?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was tripping out at that. I'm like, wait, you got this black woman and this white dude, and now they just told me they're related somehow. I'm like, okay.
And then Sean throws in, I'm Portuguese.
Oh, I
I
know,
know, right?
What do you want me to do? I'll meet you in the harbor.
You know what? Oh my gosh, you're a trip. Sean.
Terrible.
No, but it was
Terrible.
funny. I mean, most of my okay, so like I would say 50-50 if my family is either white or black. It's like 50% black and 50% white.
No.
I mean, especially with the safe trade, you just never know what you're gonna find, and you go back far enough and you gotta split, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
I love all my family though.
Adam Cleanscales. He was all about it.
We're good people, man.
There used to be a Cleanscales that played for the Bears.
See?
Oh, really?
Yeah, black guy, Cleanscales, played for the Bears. My dad, growing up, was like, "That's your cousin."
And you do. I mean, when do you see a clean scale?
Never.
Exactly. So
Scotland, 1600.
He is your cousin. That's your cousin.
Yeah.
I tried so many times to spell it. I always have to look his name up because I'm like, how do you spell that again? Clink.
This is wonderful.
You're not going to forget that name, that's for sure.
No, you're
now
not.
I got the thing, the clinks with the making of the armor thing. Now it kind of makes more sense. I mean, what were my ancestors doing? My last name means pear tree. I mean, what were they doing? Picking pears?
Yeah, pear tree.
Pereira is Portuguese for pear tree.
That's cool.
Wow. No, I can't say my last names because I have two is McFerrin, which is son of Farron.
Right.
Is,
okay.
Okay. And then you have Thomas, which means twin, which is Aramean.
Okay.
So yeah, you got the two. But again, our heritage goes back to Whitfield. There's so many. There's Lowe, there's Daniels, there's Davis. There's you just never know. You don't know. You don't know. So yeah. It's amazing. But Pace, I love that you've interjected your life into characters that you've made, for your book. Do you have any new books that are coming out soon for these kids?
For kids or for adults? I got one of both.
I'm a kid.
Okay.
He's got a novel coming. Let's hear about that.
Yeah.
I want to be an adult. Do I have to adult today?
Well, the grown-up one is the adult one. The grown-up. I like to say grown-up. Adult means something completely different.
Yeah.
The grown-up one is basically called the Book of Pace Manu Forte, which is the motto for the Clinkscales family is Manu Forte. If you didn't know, and it's basically the story that I just told you, the story of my life, but it's got a few cool spins on it. I'll keep as a surprise. And so it's like a grown-up version of Pace's Fairy, of Harry the Hairy Fairy.
And what's a novel? What's a novel? 300 pages? 200? I don't know what a novel is.
I'm aiming for 100,000 words. So whatever that may be. 100,000 words?
Yeah, is that 200 pages? Is that is there
I think it'd be longer than that. Like I think it's from what I've heard that like publishers don't read it if it's over 120. 70,000 is a good number, so I picked a number between 70 and 100,000. 70 and 120.
So you're going to come back on the show in 2038 and tell us all about this?
Hopefully it'll be done by the end. I would like for it to be done by summer next year.
Pace is going to be like, nah, man, I'm using AI. This thing's going to be done in like 2 days.
That's who I asked about the length of the book was the AI. I was like, how long is a good book? And it's like, they don't read it after 120. So I was like, okay.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I found a lady. I found a nice lady named Molly Garcia who has written like 8 books. She's published herself. So she's a little darker writer, and she can. I think she's going to capture really good what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, I'm finding somebody to help me do it because I can't do it.
And do you prefer
writing a kid's book? I'm okay with.
Yeah, see that. I was gonna say.
Writing a novel, I need somebody to hold my hand.
But it translates so well in a kid's book, you know what I mean? Because you've got there's an element of youth to it that, and it's simplicity. I mean, you know that about songwriting. They tell you to get to the point. You can't come in with 6 pages of lyrics unless you're going to rap it, at rapid speed pace. But that the children's side of it really allows the simplicity of telling the story. No, regardless of what it actually is, because you explained to us today, the reveal was what those characters are, what those personifications are, in certain different, like the balloon and different stuff like that. It's wonderful like that. It helps people like me understand it.
Yeah. There's an old saying, I don't know who said it, but it's if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself.
Oh goodness.
I understand my life.
Okay. I got you. I don't.
Yeah, that's okay. Give it time. You're still young.
I don't understand this. I don't understand it. I don't. I can't even tell you what's going on. I'm like, I have no idea. I just know that's what they said and I'm doing it.
Don't try to figure it out. That's what I know. Don't figure it out. Just go.
No.
You're going to spend all day long trying to figure it out while everybody else is standing at the dock. Swim out to the boat, get on, turn it around, and leave.
Yeah.
That's it. Wow. Well, Pace, where can I know where we can get you by booksbypace.com,
right.
Also Instagram Maddox Pace. What's your favorite social media? Is it your website or is it Instagram?
My favorite social media is, I would say, Instagram, because I'm able to put pictures up of my life, whereas my website, it just pushes through to like the links to my books and the movies I've done and stuff like that. Right. But Instagram really tells it, and then I'll push it back to Facebook because everybody from Blakely, Georgia is on Facebook. So everybody small town Georgia are still rocking Facebook. So I like it.
All the French are on Facebook. It's so funny. I barely do it that much, but I always think of those things because everybody's like, "Oh, you're in it." I'm like, no, this is a glimpse and a window to look out, like window shopping, like a billboard or someone's story. I can't stand when they're like, blah blah blah, because I'm 55 years old. There was none of that when I was a kid. And then it goes away, we're still all us. Many people won't be themselves because they think that that's what they need. But I think of it as another place to take a peek at what's going on in someone's life.
Yeah.
It's
like a photo album.
Totally.
Definitely. Did you guys know that you can actually have your Instagram post go straight to your Facebook page? That's something else.
That's what I'm doing the feed
No, literally speaking. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to put me down. I'm leaving. Bye.
No.
Well, it's a boys' club now. Whoops, she's back. Never mind.
Oh my God.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that way you don't have to go on Facebook that much.
Right.
Don't you see everything? You don't have to do it. Yeah. Well, Pace, man. I mean, thank you so much for coming out and being on the show. And we're cousins, so
I'll text you later. Yeah,
right. And happy 4th, everybody. Happy 4th of July.
Yeah, happy 4th.
Everybody. And good to see you guys. Hey, thanks so much too, because I listen, I know life is crazy. I love to talk about it, and I love that you do too, because again, we all learn from it and we all love it. I enjoy the heck out of it because I get the most pleasure learning from someone else that has probably as crazy a life as I have, if not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's in the lead right now. We'll keep trucking.
Sean,
I'm still remembering we only have one tattoo.
Oh, I know, right?
The Sun Rock.
Yep, that's right.
Mhm.
That's exactly right.
Mhm.
Boy, oh boy.
Sean?
See, don't mess up because a lot of your friends, you may not talk to them for a while, but they remember it all, and they will come back to either haunt you or bless you.
Yeah, no, Sean had the idea for Coachella before Coachella even existed. Coachella, it was called Sun Rock. That's what he was all about out there in the desert.
You know what? We can still
And
do
then-
it, Sean.
I know we're on
And
it
then-
now. It's coming closer.
And then I was like, we got to do Sun Country too, and that ended up being Stagecoach. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, you guys, yo, Pace, we're gonna have to find Sean's cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll hit up ancestry.com and see what's up.
Yeah, man.
There you go. Right?
Mhm.
Somewhere
Pear
on the
tree.
center of the Santa
You say-
Maria, maybe one of them.
You said look up Pear Tree, right?
Yeah,
What's
we're gonna
that?
have to
Yeah,
find
pear
Sean's
tree.
cousin.
Look up Pear
For
Tree.
real,
that's-
pear tree.
In a different country though. He can't be like the same. He's gotta be, or she's gotta be totally different. Like you
Okay.
and me, we're totally different people. You
You
know,
understand he's gonna do it.
different
Yeah,
colors.
you know he's gonna do this.
That is so cool. So no, Pace, we gotta do it. We gotta do it.
Yeah.
We gotta do it. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Awesome.
Sean,
Yep.
we will be looking for your cousin
Oh,
in a
wonderful.
different country.
Mhm. On an episode to come.
I can't wait to see what you find. I bet
Yeah.
it's gonna be wonderful.
And you know what? I wouldn't put it past them that they would be as crazy as Sean is.
Mhm.
I think
No, no, he's rare.
he's
That's
very
true.
rare. Yeah,
Mm.
Sean is very rare.
Crazy.
And then in more than one ways, like rare, and rare, like, yeah, he's rare.
So we went to dinner last night with the Tony Robbins team. Joelle Jarvis, she said, listen, Sean, you're a lunatic, but a loving, amazing, blah, 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 but a lunatic. I said, okay, I can live with that. My wife and kid are looking like, I went, so I was talking to the guy sitting next to us. I go to the bathroom and they were all dying laughing because Griffin's in the back going, oh my God, have you seen? Oh, I have a water too. Why are you drinking that? He was doing it. I didn't see him imitating me in the back.
Yeah.
They're dying laughing. I'm like, what is so funny? Like your son has got you on blast right behind. You don't even know it.
Oh my
Always,
gosh. Wow.
you know what? I have a healthy self-image. I'll take it. I can deal with it.
Definitely.
You're perfect.
You're perfect. You're good. You know what?
All right.
Things wouldn't get done if Sean didn't do it.
Exactly.
If
I
Sean
either
didn't
get
do
it
it,
my way or create a way. One or the other happens.
I know. He's texting me. It's like 2:00 in the morning. He's like, and I'm like 8 text messages, and I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
It's Sean. He's like, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What are you doing? Why are you waiting so long? Why are you responding? I'm like, sleep.
We ain't got no time to waste. Come on.
Yeah, no, I have a thing about sleep. We gotta get some sleep. I actually literally get on him about his sleep.
I know everybody does.
I
I
do.
tried. I slept last night. I'm getting better.
See?
3-4 hours.
Getting better.
It's coming. You know, it's just like the same thing. You hang around with a guy that goes to the library every day. Eventually, you're going to go to the library. And the person that tells you to sleep, okay, I'll sleep. No problem. I got it. And I tell you what, you're right, because you feel 1,000% better when you get a couple hours of really good sleep. And I dream vividly. I come downstairs. I'm like, well, actually, they're still asleep when I get up. You guys, once they wake up, I was over here, and blah, blah, blah. My wife's like, you could write a book just about your dreams. I don't know why they're so vivid, but it's just exactly the same as, I wonder which one's real. Are you living in the dream or which one's the reality side? Maybe they both are, but they are completely vivid for me for whatever reason. How are you guys? Do you guys dream vividly?
Yeah. I had a dream about my ex-fiance last night.
Wow, that sounds like a nightmare.
I'm still trying to figure that out, but it was there. 20 years later.
You know what? I have weird dreams. Like I'll have a dream about something, but then if I don't want to have that dream, I will stop in the middle of the dream and say no. And I will decide I want this dream. And it'll change. And literally I'm speaking through the dream saying, no, I don't want to dream that.
That's not easy to do. Wow, that's
weird.
That's killer. I can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, I can control
you're
the dream.
You're a dream designer. You're dream designing your own dreams. Wow. Watch out at you.
Really do that. That's weird. And if I don't want to dream, I don't want to dream, I just say I don't want to dream tonight. And I don't.
Yeah.
Wow. Where's your spaceship? I know where mine and Pace's are.
Most of the time, I wake up and want to go back into the dream.
Oh, I've done that. I've done
I've
that.
done that
I've
too.
literally, yeah, I've done that. But it gets freaky after you go back in. It gets a little freaky.
It's
Then
like
I
that
have to
movie
stop
Inception. My buddy Stephen Kopsky actually produced that movie Inception, all about that stuff. He's the partner of the Chabad, the race, the run tomorrow morning. But
Oh, wow.
that whole movie's real crazy. Like, I mean, it's all about those guys, you know, injecting themselves in other people's dreams to, I mean, basically to change reality, to change or the pace of life. It's interesting.
I gotta write a book about that then, right, Pace?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
You're gonna write one, or you want me to?
Pace, you can write it.
Maybe you
We'll
co-write it.
write it. And then we'll compare.
Pace, do you self-publish? Do you self-publish, Pace? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, that's how I use Amazon and Ingram.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, then it's yours.
Yep.
Huh?
Yep.
Then it's yours, and you can put it out at your pace.
Yeah. Right.
Of course, you had to use that.
Kids book. There's a lot of people that make kids books. So it's a hard one to have a publisher.
Yeah.
Come in and really get interested in. Most of the time, they pull like a Dolly Parton and just have writers and make them themselves, and they own them and publish them and put them out. When you get to like your novels, nonfiction, fiction, and stuff like that, you can get a little more marketing into it, and people are more willing to talk about it.
Right. Is there an illustrator? You have an illustrator. So you write it, then you have an illustrator, and then someone that does all the printing and pressing.
Yep, that's it.
Cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
And you inject all of the visuals to them, and then they bring it to life for you, and you approve it, and then just move.
Yeah, I give them the words, and then I tell them to draw what they think, and they usually do like one picture or two pictures, and see if that's what I like, and then if yes, then I'll turn them loose to do the rest.
Cool.
And they'll do it all black and white, and then I'll look through it, and they'll do the color.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
And then I pay them to leave.
That's my buddy Steve Dewberry, who writes with the. He's a good. He wrote the big Tina Turner hit. I don't want to fight. He always says, "You're all welcome, not to come along."
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I have one guy I use for all the covers, and then I use like different illustrators. So when I was just starting, this was the first one I did. You know, I did a Kickstarter and raised the money for that, but this cover is different than like the interior. Like this is like art, you know. So I went and audited a Maymester class at Kennesaw State, like an art history class or something like that, Renaissance painting or something. And one of the kids in there, his name's Ugo Agoria, and I kind of poached him to do all my covers and stuff. And anytime I need like a Photoshop kind of thing done or something, he's all about it. But he's a great artist. He's really big here in Atlanta now, and he still does my covers. So
wow.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We're looking forward to more activity, creativity, and told in stories that we can all understand. Mm-hmm. And the novel one, man, I don't know if I'll get to that novel, but I will. I'll have you. You know what? If you do it on what is that called? Like books, audiobooks.
Yeah.
Then I can do it in the car and that kind of stuff, because reading to me, it's so funny. I don't find myself able to read except for in the car where my family tells me to put the stinking phone down. Dinner over here. But yeah, that'd be killer if you could listen to it. And
I'll put it on audio tape for you.
Of course.
Audiobooks. I'm an audiobook girl too, because I can't sit down and read. It's just too much to do.
Good.
Yeah, but I can listen to it in my earphones. I mean, I'm doing stuff and then I can listen to it. So it'd be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people out there that are like that, that they would rather have audiobooks, So,
Sure.
Yeah.
It seems to be a thing of the future, honestly, because you can multitask. Because, we always talk about, we do the immersive sound with my buddy, Hervé Desjardins that invented it. And we talked, I just was with him last week in Paris, and he was speaking about a book, the idea of a book. And when you're immersed in a book, you could be on a train, you could be in a car, you could be anywhere. The point is it's, you can multitask. You can do all the things you're doing in the day and actually catch some education at the same time. So to me, it's a wonderful thing that I think we should all do it. I don't know how do they just transpose that though? Do you have to actually stand there and do it yourself?
Oh, I'm not going to read it now.
Yeah, no,
I can only
Yeah,
I
you
can-
actually have to have actors to read
this
that.
voice. Yeah, no, you can get a narrator. You can hire like a voiceover narrator or something, and they'll read it.
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
you don't want me to do it.
Well,
No,
anyway,
don't
all right,
put
cool.
something like that pace. It's okay, because I wouldn't do it either.
But you have a great voice.
Well, thank you. And this voice is gonna stick to short things, like
Me, I have a draw. Is what it's called. It's called a southern draw.
Oh,
a southern
how
draw.
about this guy last night at dinner? He came to the table, I swear, at Thai show at our buddies, the place we went last night. Beautiful sushi restaurant. Here we go. He comes up to the table. Ladies and gentlemen, how would you like to? I'm like, I looked at him. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You can't talk like that. And I mean, everybody in the restaurant was like, wow. And literally, my question was, he cannot be dating anybody and be in any intimate situation and be like, ladies and gentlemen, they're coming around the corner. He just
Micro Machine Man.
and we're gonna make a room. We're making room for the sushi now, and here comes the fish. And ladies and gentlemen, I was like, it's just impossible. Everybody didn't love it. They said the food amazing, the restaurant great. They actually all wanted to complain about it. It's so crazy it's almost like it's Hollywood. Someone trying to put on that show.
He probably worked at Hollywood Park by the racetracks doing the announcing before they shut down the building.
And they're coming around the back stretch and the lead.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Oh my gosh. More
Anyway.
like, yeah, give me 25, 25, 25. Yeah. 30, 30, 30, I get 30,
That's
30,
exactly
30.
right.
Y'all remember the Micro Machine Man?
The
Oh
what
my
is it?
gosh. No.
The Micro Machine Man? He's
No,
that
what's
guy, the toy cars, and he could talk so fast. Google it. It's hilarious.
Okay, micro.
Back in like the 80s.
Mr.
Back in like
Microphone.
the 80s. Yeah.
Remember Mr. Microphone where the girls were they were in the convertible and
Oh.
the guys phone like, we'll be back to pick you up later. It was like a microphone that went through your like horn in the front of your car.
Yeah.
The microphone. Look at Yaya. It's like, you guys are out of your mind.
Yeah, definitely gone. Definitely. Yeah.
We're good with that.
Well, guys, man, I'm telling you, Pace, again, thank you so much for just, stopping by, and your book again, and everything, Books by Pace and Pace's Fairy, and then your new website. We won't give it out, but it's coming soon, right?
Yes.
Yep. So that's going to be kind of cool because, of course, Sean came up with it.
Pages.
Come on.
So definitely. Wow. And Sean, you're crazy.
Yeah. I keep hearing that every day. So now you know what I do? I just believe it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Crazy makes for a good company there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool,
Until it doesn't, but it does for a while.
And again, yes.
I'll take it. We'll take it. That's why I love Pace, because he's crazy like me. So crazy.
I hear people call me crazy every day.
You're crazy like everything?
I don't talk as much as him, but yes, I am crazy like him.
Well, see, I'm a little subtle.
I believe you call it outgoing.
Yeah.
I like that one. Oh, I'm going to use that too now.
What?
I'm going to use that too. I'm very outgoing.
Exactly.
Yes, he is. I agree
On
with
that
you.
note, see ya. I'm out of here. No. All right, guys.
All right. Hey, Sean, take us out, bro. Thank you.
So, what an amazing, wonderful thing to do on the Monday before Independence Day, 4th of July tomorrow. Pace, thank you so much. Yaya, always just a pleasure and such a joy. We just have a good time, and we do this as often as we can, and we love it. So we'll see you guys next time. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, and peace or pace out.